Hello everyone and welcome to Zach's Garage and welcome to the Dream Factory. So in here then, in the Dream Factory foyer, we have a bit of the history of Koenigsegg, starting with the gorgeous orange CCXR, very cool, one of the first cars I ever saw when I came to the factory. We've got the Geneva Motor Show Jesko Attack, the car that was launched in Geneva. It's a model, there's been some crazy different design changes, like the headlights, the seats, there's loads and loads of bits. Fun fact for you, when this place was opened, the night before it was opened, we gave this to Christian and his family. Obviously, we've got a few petrol pumps and we had restored this pump in shell colours, but then with the Koenigsegg wording with the ghost on top. And fun one for you, at about 1 o'clock in the morning, I was in the factory, genuinely on my own, grinding the top of this to fit the globe in time. And a security guard came and said, "Excuse me, what are you doing?" I was like, "I'm grinding a petrol pump down." And he was like, "Okay." So, fun little story, it probably is a family thing. We've got the Koenigsegg Regera in the gorgeous exposed carbon, but with blue metallic, and it's like just so sparkly, it's awesome. This is the factory test car, so we were actually out in this yesterday, very cool to see. And then the very first clay model, well it's not a clay model, but the very first model of the Gemera, there's been endless changes to the car now, so there's a lot of similarities in the car, but there's also a hell of a lot of changes. Now through these very big doors is something incredibly special. I can't believe I'm saying this, but this is our brand new Koenigsegg Jesko Absolute. And I thought it'd be rather cool to take you guys along the journey to show you just how in-depth the spec is on the car. So then, meet our Koenigsegg Jesko Absolute, nicknamed Kronos after the god of the golden era and the king of time. What better way to call it? Now, this blue, you probably recognize this spec off our Regera, but this blue is a touch lighter. I've called it Poseidon Blue. I think it's such a cool name. We've got the 24 karat gold leaf, but on this car, we've got the full carbon wheels with the 24 karat gold leaf. Taking a look down the side of the car, the design principle for me was definitely incorporating the blue, the black, and the gold, because I wanted the exposed carbon. You've got plenty of KNC, the wheels, the wing mirror stalks. So instead of doing, for example, the gold Jesko badge, we've kept them black, a little bit more subtle, a little bit more understated. But then we did also add on the side air intake, we removed the KNC and had it painted in blue carbon. Makes it look a little bit more elegant while still being really angry, and it looks kind of extra floating, which I really like. One of the biggest bespoke options we went for on this car, the Aero discs on the rear, they never had them painted before. And I said to the factory, I was like, I want the discs to match the body. And they said, oh, we've never done that. And I said, just give it a go. And then I told them I wanted the gold leaf, but in an arrow form. So it gives it a bit of a whirlpool depth effect into the center. And I think fair to say it came out pretty beautiful. The most prominent thing on the Absolute is what's called the Absolute Strakes. Instead of a massive rear wing, you've got these two little strakes, almost like horn style look. Now, I did think about putting gold on top of them, but I thought no, I wanted to have the top section in the KNC, and I think it looks really, really cool. Looking towards the back of the car, I'm calling this section the waterfall, because with the way that this angle here is such a deep curve, that this line slowly peters into the curve and everything sort of slides into the back of the car. And that actually took a very long time to come up with. There was a lot of renders, a lot of moving stripes left to right, trying to get that right look. And I think we achieved it. You guys can tell me if you think the rear of this, if you think the side or the front is your favorite angle, but for me, it's got to be the back, because that is unbelievable. Looking at the rear diffuser though, you've got a lot going on, but just 4 simple gold lines. Now, I could have put more gold on there. We did dabble with it. Originally, the first renderings looked pretty wild. In fact, most of the renderings were just done on WhatsApp. You'll be seeing them on the screen at the moment. But I think it looks nice. I think they accentuate the sort of Venturi effect on the bottom diffuser without being too obnoxious. Now, with a simple double tap of this button, that happens. Under the rear clam then, you have the heart and soul of the Jesko Absolute, the 5 litre twin turbocharged flat plane crank V8, which I can confirm sounds similar to something of a dungeon that the devil would run, that has just been unleashed upon the world. It is the best sounding production car I think I have ever heard in my life. But performance figures, on E85, this car is running 1600 brake horsepower. Now, there may be car companies that make more power, but the way this thing delivers it is like no other. This should be four-wheel drive, but the way it drives feels like it's got unlimited grip. It is staggering. The way this car is put together is just chef's kiss. And at the back, you've got the brand new LST, the light speed transmission, 9 gears. And when I say this thing goes through gears like the quickest thing, I'm gonna have to look up how fast the gears are, because I don't even think it's like comprehensible to a blink of an eye. I think it's actually faster than a blink of an eye, because when I've driven this car, you go to shift and it's like, oh, there's the red line, you've already done 3 gears, and you went to shift into first. This car is just crazy. Bespoke to this Jesko, we put the gold stripe all the way from the air intake blade all the way down to here, to a fine point that points exactly to where Jesko starts. Interesting. The whole idea was to sort of have all the arrows pointing to one place. That brings me to the front of the car. Everything has to point to one place. The side stripes that go all the way around the car all stop at one point. The center stripe stops at one point, all at the Koenigsegg badge. And then a fun little feature that I added that definitely hasn't been done and hadn't actually been thought of by Koenigsegg, which I'm proud to say I came up with, was what I'm calling the fangs. This was so that when you look at the car front on, it accentuates the mouth of the car, which makes it look a little bit more angry. Now sat in the cockpit of this incredible weapon, there are so many cool features that when I spec'd early on, obviously you don't see it until it's here, and well, now it's here. I'm really glad I did them. When it comes to the interior, I really did try and get quite specific with the car. What I mean by that is, I wanted things like the air conditioning vents done in gold, but I didn't want it just to be like gold air conditioning vent control knobs. So I just called them golden knob ends, and that is right. On the official Koenigsegg spec sheet, it says golden knob ends, because I'm immature. We also changed from the Regera in the fact that the Koenigsegg wording at the steering wheel and on the dash, instead of being gold leaf, was gold, very metallic paint. That means it doesn't flake off and it stays really crisp and really shiny. We also did that for the Jesko wording on the door sill and also on certain badging, which you can see. We've also done the golden Koenigsegg shields. Now, they were going to be door handles, but they're now emergency door handles. So you put your finger in there, that unlocks it, and then you can lift the door handle and that will manually open your door. But generally you should always use the button. Talking of the button, this center console we're probably going to have done in matte PPF for 2 reasons. 1, looks really good next to the KNC carbon, and 2, stops fingerprints, because fingerprints on this is an absolute nightmare. One of the key selling points to buying one of these cars is to do with this. See, the gearbox is the fastest shifting transmission ever created, and they have this little system called U-Pod, or Ultimate Power on Demand. Now that means if you're sitting cruising at 70 mile an hour in 9th gear, if you click this little device up just 1 notch, it will instantly put it into the lowest possible gear to rev as quickly as possible. So you can just go from 9th, just cruising at, say, I don't know, 2,000 RPM, click this forward, might go into 4th at 6,000 RPM, ready and screaming. And then it'll do the opposite the other way. Say you're ready and screaming, if you pull it back 1 click, it'll then go to the highest possible gear. Pretty clever. One of the craziest things on this dashboard has to be the floating binnacle. When you turn right or left, the center dial rotates on the gyroscope each way, so it means if you're 90 degrees turning right, the gauge is still completely level. I think that's mega cool, because at the end of the day, if you're almost full log, you're not going to be worrying about what revs you're at, are you? So, just very cool. And when you're shifting, it flashes really bright when you need to be able to see it. So, yeah, very exciting. So I can't believe we're finally here. You guys now know that this is the new Hypercar to Zach's garage. Now, by the time this video goes live, the car will be in England and there will be a lot more content coming. And I'm hoping my first drive of this car will be in the UK. If not, it's going to be on the Koenigsegg Owners Tour, but that is a whole nother video. So make sure you subscribe, because I promise you, the next few years are going to be absolutely mental. To end the video, let's watch Koenigsegg's party trick. Thanks for watching.